Disengagement with China begins at the LAC as per the terms agreed in the co-commander meeting. The PLA troops seen removing tents and structures. Rearward movement of the PLA vehicles seen at the general area Galwan, Hot Springs and Gogra. The nation pays tribute to Bharatiya Jansangh founder Dr. Shamaprasad Mukherjee on his birth anniversary. Paying tribute through Twitter, Prime Minister Modi remembers the contributions of Shamaprasad Mukherjee towards development and the unity of India. BJP National President JP Nadda lashes out at Rahul Gandhi, accuses him of demoralizing the nation and questioning the valor of the armed forces. The flood situation in Assam shows further improvement. The rivers in Bihar show decline in the water levels. Mumbai gets a break from the continuous rain. Waterlogging in several parts of Gujarat as rainfall continues in the state. The Met Department forecasts intense lightning and thunderstorm in several parts of the country. The recovery rate from COVID-19 in India improves to nearly 61% with almost 4.25 lakh recoveries. Triple lockdown in force for 7 days in Trivandrum due to increased spread of the virus. And marking the beginning of the monsoon, the holy month of Shravan starts today. The Shravan Mela, which starts on the onset of the month of Shravan, has been called off in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. Rajya Doordarshan Kendra facilitates the e-darshan of rituals. Hello and good afternoon. You're watching Doordarshan News with me, Nancy Kohli. Our top story: the disengagement with the PLA began at the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh, and the government sources have told Doordarshan News that the Chinese PLA troops have been seen moving further back to their side of the LAC. Activities such as tents being removed, the armored vehicles transporting troops, and the equipment back and packing and loading of vehicles is being seen. The disengagement began as per the agreed terms in the co-commanders meeting held last month. And let's now go across to our correspondent Nandita Dagar, who's joining us with more inputs on that. Nandita, of course, we have been discussing in detail about the Chinese troops moving back, further, and of course the Indian Army, but must be in fact keeping a watchful eye and keeping a look at the developments with caution.
You are absolutely right, Nancy. This is something that the Indian Army is observing very, very carefully with a hawk's eye, and will only take responding steps only when this movement back to the Chinese territory further from the LAC is observed for a verifiable and a considerable period of time, and this activity, after being monitored, is credible and verified. As you know very well that after the 15th June Battle of Galwan, where we lost for 20 of our brave hearts, of course they went down fighting, and they did cause significant number of casualties to the Chinese, 45 as DD News has reported earlier. We still cannot take them at face value and at their word, which is not, has lost their word, has lost their sanctity, at least in the foreseeable future. Yes, you are right. In your anchor link, you had mentioned what we are being seen, in the satellite images we have been seeing in the past few weeks, the satellite images of Galwan and Pengongso, etc. There were pink structures. Now the army on the ground is observing that these pink semi-permanent structures, pink tents, they are being uprooted and they are being loaded onto trucks, armored vehicles, and troop movement is being seen. Sure. Also, Nancy, to give a perspective to our viewers that what does this mean? This means, Nancy, that the Indian Army, to what distance have they gone back? Now, for that, we will have to wait till sunset, because the movement in this area, Nancy, happens only till the sunset and not after the sun sets. That is why till what distance they retreat, that is a work in progress.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Nancy.
Nandita, many experts are of the view that the troops moving back in the Pangong zone, now that's going to be very critical, and the intent of the Chinese side can truly be ascertained or can truly be believed only when that happens. What's your assessment, Nandita? The criticality of the Pangong zone area concerned, the Chinese troops moving back in that area?
Very right, Nancy. This is the Galwan. This was happening at Galwan River Valley Petrol Point 14. What we are being told by government sources, this retreating or this moving back, pulling back of the Chinese PLA troops that we have confirmed to our viewers was happening at. It has started happening from today morning at the Galwan Petrol Point 14 and other points, general area Galwan. We have still yet to confirm whether it is happening or not at Pangongso. And yes, if it does happen at Pangongso, I suppose the experts are correct that the Chinese really do want business and they are trying to build confidence. But so far we have not received any news of that happening at Pangongso. This is
Okay.
only what we've received as happening at the Galwan general area. And yes, the Chinese intent, because you cannot take the Chinaman at his word, will have to be verified even at Pangongso. Even if it does happen at Pangongso and if we receive confirmation from that, from our sources, still it would have to be monitored and verified for it to be credible.
Right.
Now,
Okay. Nandita, now, Prime Minister Modi's visit there and India's responsible stand at the LAC is being globally recognized, and also the messaging is very clear. So would you say that this disengagement happening is a result of India's firm and decisive messaging being sent out?
definitely, Nancy. China probably was flexing its muscles with all its smaller neighbors. It was threatening Vietnam with its daily threats in global times and its daily media, foreign ministry media briefings. It passed a national security law in Hong Kong, which was autocratic and undemocratic, which certainly dents the one country, two systems status of Hong Kong. It was obviously bullying Philippines and Vietnam in the South China Seas, its aggressive maneuvers. It was threatening the US Navy on a official verified Twitter account. It was threatening the US Navy. But it suddenly met its match when it started making these provocative misadventures into our area of the LAC, because they understood, they realized that India means business. Not just with Prime Minister Modi's visit. The Galwan, after the May 5th build-up, the build-up that was happening there, and since then, everything that happened, whether it was when we were mirroring their deployment, equal number of troops, whatever number of troops they deployed, whatever number of artillery they deployed, we doubled that on our side of the border. And then, of course, Prime Minister Modi going there and visiting the troops, raising the morale, not just of the forces, but also of the country, also giving a very, very strong signal that India means business. It will not tolerate a centimeter of its territory. It will not concede that to China anymore. Also, the diplomatic maneuvers that India
Right,
has made.
Nandita.
So, yes.
Yes. All right, Nandita Daga, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and putting these developments into perspective for us. We'll, of course, be touching base with you for more inputs in our subsequent bulletins. For the moment, thanks though. Moving on now, the birth anniversary of the Bharatiya Janasangh founder Dr. Shamaprasad Mukherjee is being observed today. Born on July 6, 1901, Dr. Mukherjee was a prominent orator and a nationalist leader who protested against the permit system in Kashmir. He fought not only for the freedom of the country but also laid down his life for preserving the unity and integrity of the nation. And paying tributes to Dr. Shamaprasad Mukherjee on his birth anniversary, Prime Minister Modi has said, and I quote, "I bow to Dr. Shamaprasad Mukherjee on his Jayanti. A devout patriot, he made exemplary contributions towards India's development. He made courageous efforts to further India's unity. His thoughts and ideals give strength to millions across the nation," unquote. Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah has also paid his tributes to Dr. Mukherjee on his birth anniversary today. Amit Shah in a tweet has said the nation found a visionary leader in the form of Dr. Shamaprasad Mukherjee, who stressed on the root causes and permanent solutions to India's problems and fought for them throughout his life. BJP National President JP Nadda and the senior BJP leaders paid full tribute to Dr. Mukherjee at the BJP headquarters. Earlier in a tweet, the BJP National President said, I quote, Jan Sangh was founded by Dr. Shamaprasad Mukherjee on the ideas of nationalism and nation service. He further said that Dr. Mukherjee's thoughts on equality in society and united India are highly adherent in the creation of the self-reliant India. Later, addressing the virtual Vishal Jan Sabha on the occasion from the BJP headquarters, JP Nadda exalted the central government's decision of revoking Article 370 under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. He said the government has fulfilled the dreams and the visions of Dr. Mukherjee by tying the whole nation into one single thread.
जिस विषय को लेकर श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी जी ने जो बलिदान दिया, जिसके खातिर उन्होंने अपना जीवन का सर्वस्व लगाया, आज जब हम 119वीं जन्मदिन उनका मना रहे हैं तो हमें यह संतोष है कि धारा 370 को मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में और अमित शाह जी की रणनीति में हम सब लोगों ने धाराशाही कर दिया है और आज हम एक सूत्र में पिरोते हुए भारत को, कश्मीर हो या गुवाहाटी, अपना देश अपनी माटी, इसको हम साकार कर पा रहे हैं और एक जन, एक मन, एक संविधान, इसको हम साकार कर पा रहे हैं। यह हमारे लिए विशेष सौभाग्य की बात है।
BJP National President JP Nadda attacked the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi for questioning the valor of the armed forces. In a series of tweets, the BJP National President said, I quote, Rahul Gandhi does not attend a single meeting of the Standing Committee on Defence, but sadly he continues to demoralize the nation, question the valor of our armed forces and do everything that a responsible opposition leader should not do, unquote. He further tweeted, I quote again, Rahul Gandhi belongs to that glorious dynastic tradition where as far as defence is concerned, committees don't matter, only commissions do. The Congress has many deserving members who understand parliamentary matters, but one dynasty will never let such leaders grow. Really sad, unquote. And the BJP spokesperson G.V. Narasimha Rao also criticized Rahul Gandhi for his irresponsible behavior in Parliament. He said that despite being a member, Rahul Gandhi did not attend any single meeting out of the 11 meetings of Defence Standing Committee that were convened.
Standing Committee is a platform where members can have several discussions and make several suggestions for strengthening the armed forces. But Rahul Gandhi chose to be a member of this committee because it's his family who decides who is in what committee, and Rahul Gandhi has been found to be absent. I think it's shocking that 11 such meetings have happened after this committee took over, after this committee was constituted post Lok Sabha elections 2019. And Rahul Gandhi did not attend any of these.
And moving on now to some weather news, the monsoon fury continues to wreak havoc in several states of the country. However, the situation in Assam is slowly improving as the water level has receded at many places. 37 persons have lost their lives due to floods in the state so far, while over 680,000 people in 18 districts are still affected by the floods. However, there is no report of any death in the past 24 hours. According to the Assam State Disaster Management Authority, over 1,000 villages are affected by floods and 39,600 hectare crop area is underwater. The relief and rescue operation is underway. The NDRF and the SDRF teams have rescued over 1,000 persons from the affected areas. Nearly 5,000 persons are sheltered in 62 relief and rescue centers. Meanwhile, Mumbai and adjoining areas have had a breather from the continuous heavy rains as the rainfall has stopped since last evening. The waterlogging at all the major low-lying roads have been cleared and the vehicular traffic is running normal. Special suburban trains have also been running normal and a high tide of 4.67 meters will occur at around 1 in the afternoon today. And they were supposed to happen in fact around 1, but the weather department has forecast moderate rain very likely in the city and suburbs, and there is a possibility of heavy falls at the isolated places. And in Gujarat, heavy rains have lashed several districts of the state. The last 2 days have witnessed more than 60 talukas recording over 16 inches of rainfall. This includes Khambaliya in Dwarka district, which received 19 inches of rainfall, marooning the area in rainwater. The Navsari district of South Gujarat also saw a rise in the water levels of Purna, Kaveri and Ambika rivers. The dams, including Wellington Dam in Junagadh, overflow after incessant rainfall at some places led to increased water levels. Ahmedabad also received rainfall which brought a much-needed respite from the soaring temperatures. The NDRF teams have been put on an alert in parts of Gujarat, whereas the Met Department has predicted widespread rainfall activity likely over Gujarat during the next 3 days and decrease then thereafter. The isolated heavy to very heavy falls with extremely heavy falls predicted over Saurashtra and Kutch over the next 2 days. 7 NDRF teams have been deployed in Dwarka, Gir, Somnath, Jamnagar, Rajkot, Navsari, Surat and Valsad. And in Bihar, due to light to moderate rainfall witnessed during the last 24 hours, the water level of the river has come down. The situation has also improved due to light rains in Nepal, and the excessive rainwater flowing from there has also decreased. The areas connected to Bagmati, Kosi and Budi Gandak rivers received rainfall of 10 to 35 millimeters. And talking about Simanchal in Bihar, the Mahananda river has gone below the danger mark in all the 6 places of Katihar. However, the Adwara river in Darbhanga is flowing 1 meter 80 centimeters above the danger mark. The water level of the Parman river in Biasi of Purnia is 50 centimeters above from the danger mark, while the Goga river in Kahalgaon, Bhagalpur is flowing 89 centimeters above the danger mark. Meanwhile, the Met Department has predicted intense lightning and thunderstorm in several parts of the country. And let's now shift our focus to the COVID-19 updates from across the country. And due to collective and focused efforts of containment and management of COVID-19 by the centre, along with the states and the union territories, the number of recovered cases have risen to over 4,24,000. And as per the latest update, a total of 4,24,433 people have recovered in the country so far. In the past 24 hours, 15,350 people have recovered from COVID-19, and with this, the recovery rate has touched to nearly 60.85%. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said that a total of 24,248 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the country during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 6,97,413. According to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 2,53,287 and all are under active medical supervision. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, the ICMR has conducted over 1 crore tests to diagnose COVID-19 so far. In the past 24 hours, about 1,80,596 samples were tested on the 5th of July in the country, with a total of 1,04,101 samples have been tested till date. In Kerala, triple lockdown has been imposed in Thiruvananthapuram from 6 in the morning on Monday for 7 days, and all the offices except for essential and critical services will remain shut down, including the Secretariat. And people are advised to remain indoors, and movement of persons can only be for medical emergencies and delivering essential services and goods. The public cannot come to the shops for purchase, and the police and associated volunteers will deliver the essential items at home. No vehicles will ply during this period in the city limit. The entry and the exit to the city limits will only be through single point. This extraordinary decision was taken after Trivandrum has been reporting cases whose origin could not be traced. In some other news now, the holy month of Shravan or Shravan is starting today. The entire country is celebrating the first Somvar of Shravan month today. The month of Shravan marks the start of the monsoon season in India. The Shravan month will conclude on the 3rd of August. The month is marked by complete devotion to Lord Shiva and observing fast on Mondays. Some even observe fast on Tuesdays, which was known as Mangala Gauri Vrat. In the national capital, the devotees offered prayers at Gauri Shankar temple in Chandni Chowk this morning. And on the first Monday of Shravan month, in fact, the temperature of the devotees are also being checked with thermometer, gone as a precautionary measure to contain the spread of COVID-19. So all the measures and precautions being taken at the temples there as the month of Shravan or Shravan has begun. And amid fewer festivities in the temples due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the devotees gather at the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi on the first Monday of Shravan month. And Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath offered prayers at the Mansarovar temple in Gorakhpur to mark the first Monday of Shravan month. In Madhya Pradesh, prayers are being offered at the Mahakaleshwar temple in Ujjain. Now, Deogarh's world-famous Shravani Mela that starts on the onset of the month of Shravan has been called off in view of the prevailing outbreak of COVID-19. Moreover, this year the entry of devotees to Dumka's prominent Basukidam temple has also been restricted. Although the administration has facilitated the virtual darshan of the temple for devotees. They can watch the Aarti online or on the Facebook page of Deoghar administration or on deoghar.nic.in, the website of this district administration. And the Union Home Minister Amit Shah has sent greetings to countrymen on the occasion of Shravan. The Home Minister has written on Twitter, I quote, "Heartfelt greetings to all the countrymen on the first Monday of Shravan month dedicated to the worship of Lord Shiva, Har Har Mahadev," unquote. And before we wind up this newscast, a heads up on an exclusive interview with John Bolton, former US National Security Advisor. Watch the interview at 5:30 in the evening on DD News and 8 at night on DD India today.
Entities